What if I told you that one of the top theories in physics pretty much says you will never die? I don't mean you might not die. I mean you literally can't. That every single time you're in a life or death situation, you are guaranteed to survive. Sounds pretty great, right? Well, maybe not. Because what if that guarantee doesn't mean you survive all in one piece?
Okay, let's just dive right into the deep end here. We're going to start with a really startling idea from the philosopher David Lewis. He took the bizarre implications of quantum mechanics and followed them all the way to their most terrifying logical conclusion.
And no, that is not a line from some sci-fi horror movie. That's a serious philosophical argument. What Lewis is basically saying is, if this whole quantum immortality thing is real, you shouldn't picture a life of heroic last-minute escapes. Nope. You should expect a future where you just keep accumulating damage over and over forever, always stopping just short of actually dying.
So, this is the big, chilling question, isn't it? To figure out if we should actually be worried about this, we first need to get our heads around the science that makes this grim possibility even thinkable in the first place.
The theory that kicks off this whole can of worms is called the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, and it suggests that reality is way, way bigger than what we see.
So think about it like this. You've got a tiny particle that can be in multiple states at once. It's called superposition. It could be spinning up and spinning down at the exact same time. Now, according to the many worlds theory, when you measure it, the universe doesn't just pick one outcome. Instead, reality itself forks. A whole new universe branches off for the spin-up result and another one for the spin-down. And here's the kicker. Both are equally real. There's no collapse, just endless branching all the time.
To make this a little easier to grasp, let's meet our guide for this strange journey. We'll call him Aristotle. He's about to measure an electron's spin. Before he does, there's just one Aristotle. The instant he measures it, though, poof, the universe splits. In one branch, one Aristotle sees the spin as up. In a totally separate but just as real branch, another Aristotle sees the spin as down. Both futures actually happen.
Okay, but right here is where we hit a massive snag. Philosophers call it the incoherence problem, and it really messes with our whole idea of what chance even means.
So, from a God's eye view, looking at the whole multiverse from the outside, everything happens. The probability that the universe contains both an Aristotle who sees up and one who sees down is 100%. It's a sure thing. But from inside, from Aristotle's perspective, he only sees one result. To him, it feels like a 50-50 shot. So, how do we square these two things? How can 100% certainty feel like a 50-50 chance? This is really the heart of the problem. If every single outcome is guaranteed to happen in some branch, then what does the word probable even mean? Why do we experience life as a series of chances like flipping a coin, when the theory says both heads and tails are guaranteed to happen in their own equally real worlds? Okay, get ready, because the proposed solution to this paradox is a complete mind-bender. It forces us to totally rethink what it means to be a person at all. According to this theory, you're not just you in this moment. You are a person worm stretching all the way through time. And here's where it gets really wild. Right before a branching event, like Aristotle's measurement, it's not that there's one you with multiple potential futures. No. There are multiple distinct person worms, multiple versions of you overlapping in the exact same body. One of them is destined for the up future and the other for the down future. So that feeling of uncertainty Aristotle has, he's not wondering what's gonna happen, he's simply unaware of which of these future people he is about to become.
So if we look at our diagram again, this idea totally changes how we see it. That single chunk at the bottom before the split, that isn't one person who is about to split. It's two distinct people, C1 and C2, who are just sharing the same body and mind for a moment. But they have different futures. And this is how the theory explains probability. It's just you wondering which future version of yourself you're about to be.
Okay, so my brain hurts a little. But with that mind-bending idea on the table, let's bring this all the way back to our original terrifying question. If this theory is right, does it actually condemn us to eternal suffering?
Well, this is where another philosopher, Istvan Aroniosi, steps in with a crucial point. He says, hang on a second. The reason we get rid of the death branches is because being dead isn't an experience you can have. It's oblivion. But, he argues, so is being in a coma. So is a persistent vegetative state. So the logic shouldn't just be about avoiding where your life ends, but about avoiding any branch where your consciousness ends.
And this simple shift in focus opens up a whole new set of possibilities. It's not just Lewis's grim, eternal torment. Aroniosi gives us two other potential fates that are, frankly, a lot less terrifying: the comforting corollary and the momentary life.
This is the really optimistic one. It's actually, well, comforting. Think of a speeding car coming right for you. The branches where you get hit lead to unconsciousness and death. Since you can only ever experience a conscious future, you should always expect to find yourself on the branch where you're saved. The car swerves, you trip and fall out of the way. You don't just survive injury, you avoid the dangerous event altogether. You're basically destined to be miraculously lucky. Forever.
So what about the bad outcome? The one where you do get hurt? Well, that's the momentary life idea, and it suggests even the worst-case scenario isn't so bad. If you end up on a branch with a severe injury, you're probably going to be unconscious most of the time. You might experience these short, flickering moments of awareness, but with amnesia wiping the slate clean each time. It wouldn't be a continuous hell of suffering. It would be more like a fragmented existence blinking in and out without any memory of what came before. It's really more oblivion than it is torment.
So while quantum torment is a possibility, it might not be the fate we should expect. We could instead be destined for a life of impossible luck or a strange, fragmented existence. Which brings us to the final, biggest question. If countless versions of you are branching off every single moment, living out every single possibility, which one of them is the real you? And who are you, right now, in this moment, just before the next split?